Part 12. The Strongest Assassin in the Server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 111. I didn't expect Ye Shen to be so successful after leaving the novice village. That's right. I heard that the chief of blood killing lost last month and was taken away by Ye Shen. Of course, this matter has yet to be verified, but it is certain that he took our territory this time. Poisonous Sting and Chidori were sending messages to each other in private chats. Chief Blood Killing lost and was killed by Ye Chen once. He certainly wouldn't tell his subordinates about such a shameful thing. Therefore, only a few masters in the circle of masters knew about it. Ye Shen killed people and was red-named. He dared not return to the city. Now he sent the elves to block the intersection. I wonder how he will end this time. Blood Killing sneered, but he felt very aggrieved in his heart. He was a master-level figure among thieves. He always advocated assassination. Unexpectedly, he had to send people to block it now. Looking at the intersection blocked by the elf thieves, Ye Chen's eyes twitched. This time he really played big, and he didn't expect Blood Killing to move so quickly. If Huo Wu hadn't agreed to come to help, he would have had a hard time this time. Although he could force his way out with Xiao He, he was now a red name after all, and his excessive killings had led to serious sins. If he died, he would be locked up in a small dark room for several days. This was not good. About half an hour later, Ye Chen did not wait for Huo Wu, but Gao Ming and Deng Liang rushed over with a larger team. When they saw the killer guild that had blocked the intersection, their pupils shrank. Brothers of the Killer Guild, please make way. We have something to do in Sunset Mountain. Gao Ming stepped forward and dealt with Qianyao and other cotters. Qianyao and others glanced at Shueisha, but saw that Shueisha pretended not to see it, and immediately understood, and said in a stiff tone, "We have something to do too. No one is allowed to go in before the matter is done." Gao Ming was stunned. He was not going to rob their territory, so why were they so excited? Why did they have to target them so much? Hey, wait, since this is the territory of the Assassin's Guild, why was there only Ye Chen when I came here just now, and no one from the Assassin's Guild? Could it be that Ye Chen had already taken down the Assassin's Guild once before? I have to say that Gao Ming has a little bit of IQ. After thinking about it, he figured out the whole story in an instant. I guess you are blocking Ye Shen, right? In fact, we are too, since we are all in the same boat. You letting us pass is also a big help to you, Gao Ming said with a smile. But this angered Shueisha's self-esteem, and he instantly got angry. Get out. Who is in the same boat with you? What are you, the Hall of Fame, and you are helping us? Shameless, get out. A roar made Gao Ming's hair stand on end, and his face was almost twisted. He turned his head sharply, but found that the person who scolded him was actually Shueisha, and he was stunned. What's going on? Shueisha is here too? He actually got involved in such a small scene. Gao Ming was stunned. What should we do? Deng Liang and others asked. Forget it, let's retreat. Gao Ming snorted in frustration. Since Shueisha was here in person, they would not be able to achieve anything even if they waited any longer. They turned around, and just after they took 2 steps, Huo Wu rushed over with her men. This time, not only Gao Ming and Deng Liang were shocked, but Shueisha was also surprised. Huo Wu, what are you doing here? Shueisha asked with a frown. I'm here to protect Ye Shen. If you touch him, you're just messing with me, Huo Wu snorted coldly. Hiss. Everyone in the audience took a breath, especially Du Ci and Qian Niao. They never thought that Huo Wu would actually protect Ye Chen. Who is Huo Wu? She is a strong man of the same level as their president Ming Tian and Shueisha. She is such an existence, but she actually protected Ye Chen. When did Ye Chen become so awesome? Haha, Huo Wu, is this your choice? Or is it representing the position of myth? Shueisha sneered and said, if I remember correctly, Wu Ziwei has already issued a life and death order to Yeshen. It's my personal position. Humph, do you mean that for your own face, we, the entire death dance, should pay for it? Shueisha snorted coldly. I have never said that. In fact, you don't have to worry about me at all. Just fight. I want to see if you, Shueisha, can kill me back to level 0. Huowu smiled faintly. Cunning woman. Shueisha snorted in his heart. He didn't have to worry about Xuewu alone, but behind Xuewu, there was another myth, Wu Ziwei. If he really killed Xuewu now, with Wu Ziwei's bad temper, he would inevitably cause trouble for the Killer Guild. Huowu, this is the first and last time, I will give you face. But next time, I will not let it go, Shueisha said. Also, you openly defied the innocent life and death order, think about how to deal with it. After speaking, Shueisha raised his hand angrily and led the crowd away. At the same time, Gao Ming saw that there was no improvement in the situation, so he also led his people away. But before he left, his eyes looked at Yechen more and more gloomy, containing murderous intent. A few minutes later, Yechen showed up and smiled and thanked Huowu and others, thank you ladies for your help. But at this time, a series of system prompts came. System, player Hongchen Ruyan quits your team. System, player Mankuakuo quits your team. 1 second later, only the leader, Wu Shiranui, Yechen, and the thief named Little Cat were left in the team. Sisters, this is a rare opportunity, kill them. Led by Hongchen Ruyan, the girls quickly formed a team and rushed towards Yechen. Yechen's pupils shrank, and after releasing the poisonous mist, he ran in the opposite direction and quickly distanced himself from the girls. Ruyan, what are you doing? Huao's delicate body trembled, and her eyes flashed with disbelief. She had always treated these people in front of her as sisters, especially Ruyan. She had just bought the obsidian sword from Yechen and gave it to Ruyan. But now, what are they doing? I'm sorry, Sister Huao, I can't pretend anymore. Yes, we betrayed you, Ruyan said. Why? Huao's heart was clenched, and she asked unwillingly. Why else? Wu Zui is handsome, rich, and powerful in the game. You look down on him, but we are willing to be his servants. Ruyan curled her lips slightly, revealing a sarcastic smile, and said, but Lord Wu Zui is just treating you as a plaything now, and Susha is really stupid. In fact, even if he had killed you just now, Lord Wu Zui would not mind. But this is a good deal for us. As long as we take you down, we will naturally be appreciated by Lord Wu Zui. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 112. Yechen looked like a Japanese dog. Could he also encounter this ridiculous scene in a third-rate TV series? Taiwan novel network rightward arrow. But then he thought about it, in his previous life, when he met Huowu 2 years after the Dream World server was launched, there was no such girl group around her. In other words, in this life, even if Yechen did not meet Huowu so early, these women would betray her sooner or later. Haha, now Lord Sinless just treats you as a plaything. This just gives us an advantage. As long as we take you down, we can get the praise of the innocent Lord. Ru Yan's cold-blooded words were like a sharp blade, cutting into Huowu's heart wantonly, making her pretty face pale and her figure trembling. Mao Mao was also kept in the dark. She tried to argue, but was met with disdainful scolding and ridicule from the other party. Helpless, she began to cry. Wow, you ladies have really refreshed my outlook on life. Yechen shook his head, with undisguised disdain in his eyes. You have clearly betrayed Huowu. In the first few seconds, there was still a hint of apology in your words, but as you said it, you turned your back on yourself and started blaming others. Sure enough, people are invincible, I give you a thumbs up. Yechen made some sarcasm, which made Ru Yan and others look bad. Ru Yan snorted coldly, "Yashin, don't be proud and think that you are great because you have some strength. In fact, in the eyes of Lord Guilty, they are just like cats and dogs." "Oh, it's okay. He is just a piece of shit in my eyes anyway. As for you." Yechen smiled playfully and said, "I'm sorry, if you're not even worthy of serving, I really don't know how to treat you." "You." Yechen's words suddenly made all the girls look livid with anger. "Sisters, let's stop talking nonsense with him and come together to kill him," Ruyan shouted coldly and rushed towards Yechen with the other girls. "Court death." Yechen's eyes flashed with a cold light, he snorted and faced him with a knife. He never considered himself a hero and didn't like to meddle in other people's business. But if someone he recognizes as a friend is bullied, he will definitely step in. What's more, these stinky female cousins are an eyesore to him, and he wouldn't be happy if he didn't kill them. Lazy potion. Sneak. Yechen took a step forward and disappeared like a ghost. The girls suddenly concentrated and quickly gathered together. But at this moment, a pillar of fire suddenly shot up from under their feet, blasting them all into the sky. Yechen was stunned for a moment, then smiled. This flame attack was obviously the release of Huo Wu. To be honest, Huo Wu was so shocked and demoralized that Yechen never thought that she would take action. But now it seems that he still underestimated Huo Wu. This woman's heart is far stronger than he imagined. Then, Yechen raised his knife and started killing like crazy, quickly cutting off several crispy skins of the opponent in seconds. The opponent's number was already small, and now most of them were lost. Facing Yechen and Huo Wu holding the battle, they had no chance at all. A minute later, Yechen's dagger was covered in blood and the battle ended. He met Huo Wu's eyes, but found that the latter's eyes were dull and empty. "Yechen, I don't know who I can trust in the future." Huo Wu laughed sadly, with a look of loneliness on his pretty face. Hearing this, Mao Mao ran over obediently, stretched out his arms to hug Huo Wu, leaned his little head in her arms, and whimpered softly. "Huo Wu, you once said that if I created an elite group, you would join, so I now officially extend an invitation to you." Yechen said seriously, "Don't worry, even if everyone in the world fails you, I will not fail you." Hearing this, Huo Wu's beautiful eyes flickered, showing a trace of luster, but it was fleeting. "Well, please let me calm down. I'm tired and need to rest." Huo Wu took a deep breath and disappeared into white light in an instant. "Brother Yechen, you won't betray Sister Huo, right?" Xiao Mao blinked and asked doubtfully. "Yes, I will not betray her." Yechen lightly hammered his chest and said, "Kitten, please go down and accompany her. When you recover, my brothers and I will welcome you." Yeah, with a soft murmur, the kitten logged off. Yechen was temporarily relieved of the crisis, but he still had the big name on his head, and he saw such a thing happening to Huo Wu with his own eyes. At this moment, he felt quite heavy. Reaching out to push down the back hat, Yechen sneaked away from the Sunset Mountain and climbed onto the somersault cloud. After driving for an hour, he came to the Yunwu mountain range again. At this time, the Yunwu mountains are still popular, and there are groups of players. The last time Yechen rode a somersault cloud to pretend to be a pussy, he had already had enough of it. At this moment, he sneaked up the mountain in a low-key manner and found a small hut in the thick fog. In an instant, the scene changed again and turned into green mountains and green waters. "System, you discovered the psychedelic mirror, recognition add 10. Bloody eyes." Yechen's eyes suddenly flashed with red light. He knew that this psychedelic mirror was also a kind of magic circle, but it was much larger than the ordinary magic circle and actually formed an area. Riding on the somersault cloud again, Yechen drove quickly, looking for the magic circle elves. Hundreds of yards later, he found the magic circle spirit behind a rock wall, in the shape of white mist. He stretched out his hand to strike, but the psychedelic realm instantly collapsed and turned back into the land of dense fog, with the small hut right in front of him. Haha, young man, you are the one who broke my illusion in the shortest time so far. A loud laugh came out, and immediately an old man with white hair walked out of the thick fog. He is an NPC called Old Man Kinji, who has studied hidden weapons, illusions, and magic circles all his life. Young man, why did you come to this lonely old man in the mountains? Old Man Kinji asked with a smile. I want to learn advanced hidden weapon refining methods. What's so difficult about that? It's just that you need to help me collect first, the thick smoke from the sky-swallowing beasts in the Yunwu Mountains, the drifting ice on the top of the snowy mountains, the spring water from the last layer of the 1,000 layers falls. Old Man Kinji had a smile on his face and made many requests that would make ordinary people's scalp numb. The sky-swallowing beast is on the top of the Yunwu Mountains. It is a level 30 Golden Lord. In fact, the white mist in the Yunwu Mountains is spitted out by it. Since the refresh time of the Golden Lord is variable, it will be refreshed within 24 hours at the fastest, and it will take a week if it is slower. In the previous life, there were many high-end players who stayed there to farm the Golden Lord. And this sky-swallowing beast is very easy to judge whether to refresh. Look directly at the white mist. The fog in the Yunwu Mountains means that the sky-swallowing beast has been refreshed. On the contrary, there is none. Yechen doesn't need to brush it now, he just needs to take a little smoke and point the empty bottle at its huge nostrils to collect it. Most players can't do it, but thieves can do it easily. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 113. The top of the cloudy mountains. The thickest place in the white fog, Yechen looked at it and saw a 10-yard-long monster in the thick fog. The fur was earthy yellow, like a dog, but not a dog, with a big mouth protruding outwards and tightly closed, revealing a row of sharp steel teeth. At this time, it seemed to be sleeping, and its two huge nostrils, which were as big as fists, opened and closed, spraying thick white fog. Yechen sneaked over and pointed the empty bottle at the nostrils of the sky-devouring beast. Suddenly, the thick fog filled the empty bottle. At this point, the first ingredient that the old man Kinji wanted was taken care of. The rest of the materials were not too difficult for the thieves to stealth. The key is that some of the ingredients, including the drifting ice on the top of the Great Snow Mountain and the spring water of the 1,000-layer waterfall, are not in the LV1 main city, that is, Baiyun City. Instead, they are in the LV2 main city, Kinyu City. After reaching level 20, players can use the teleportation stone of Kinyu City to collect these materials, which is many times more efficient. But this task is obviously a hidden task, and it is the only hidden task. If you don't act quickly, you may be preempted by others. In his previous life, Yechen had no chance to touch such high-end tasks. How could he miss it in this life? 3 days, Yechen spent a full 3 days climbing snow-capped mountains, waterfalls, and wading through mountains and rivers. After several life and death dangers, he finally collected the 8 materials such as the dense fog of the swallowing beast, the drifting ice of the snow-capped mountains, and the spring water of the 1,000-layer waterfall, etc. This long journey, Yechen has never experienced it in reality, but he didn't expect to experience it in the game. Now, Yechen only feels refreshed, the depression in his heart is swept away, his eyes are deep and restrained, and the corners of his lips occasionally raise a bit of bad, 3 points of laziness, and a very confident smile. Turning around, Yechen came to the White Mist Mountains again to find Elder Kinji. After handing over the 8 ingredients, the system prompt came. System, congratulations on completing the hidden task Elder Kinji's true trial, and being praised and recognized by Elder Kinji, and getting 2 million experience rewards, 10 gold coins, and the title Hidden Weapon Master. White light rose, and Yechen directly upgraded to level 13, and then another system prompt came. System, since you have completed the unique hidden task, the system broadcast will be broadcasted below to publicize your glorious deeds. Do you want to hide your ID? Yes, hide. With Yechen's refusal, the system broadcast exploded wildly over the entire Bayun city. Bayun City broadcast, congratulations to the anonymous player for completing the hidden task Elder Kinji's True Trial, and getting 2 million experience rewards, 10 gold coins, and the special skill Advanced Hidden Weapon Refining Blueprint. Title Hidden Weapon Master. Bayun City broadcast, congratulations to the anonymous player for completing the hidden task The True Trial of the Thousand Machine Elder, and receiving 2 million experience rewards, 10 gold coins, and the special skill Advanced Hidden Weapon Refining Blueprint. Title Hidden Weapon Master. Bayun City broadcast, congratulations to the anonymous player for completing the hidden task The True Trial of the Thousand Machine Elder, and receiving 2 million experience rewards, 10 gold coins, and the special skill Advanced Hidden Weapon Refining Blueprint. Title Hidden Weapon Master. The first broadcast in the main city. Oh my god, it's an anonymous player again. I don't understand, don't give me such a strong opportunity to show up and become famous. Woo woo, the newbie has been scared to tears, looking up to the high-end players. The True Trial of the Thousand Machine Elder, tut tut, it sounds awesome. I wonder what the attributes of the title of the Hidden Weapon Master are. When the broadcast sounded, the players in the entire Bayun city fell into a crazy discussion. All major game forums and post bars instantly pinned the post about the anonymous player completing the hidden task and opening the first system broadcast in the main city, attracting countless players to watch and flood the forum with spam. The popularity exploded in an instant. At the same time, on top of a few pinned posts, there were several other popular posts. The human race sensed the thief's appearance, mysterious thief / the killer guild. The wind rose. The clouds surged. All because of one person. As the person involved, Yechen was completely unaware and was not known to outsiders. Advanced Hidden Weapon Refining Blueprint, LV1. Currently open. Iron Dart Consumption, Ordinary Dart 1, Ordinary Ore 10, Iron Ore *1, Success Rate 70%. Effect, Physical Attack add 10. Silver Dart Consumption, Ordinary Dart 1, Ordinary Ore 10, Silver Ore *1, Success Rate 50%. Effect, Physical Attack add 20. Hidden Weapon Master, Purple Quality. Level 1. Strength add 15. Agility add 15. Physical Strength add 10. Spirit add 10. Intelligence add 10. Special Effect, Hidden Weapon Damage increased by 10%. Special Effect 2, when projecting a hidden weapon, there is a 10% chance to make yourself invisible for 5 seconds. Note, this item cannot be traded. Yechen took a look at the special skills and unique title he had just obtained, and smiled with relief. The hard work of these 3 days was really not in vain. With this skill and title, plus a skill book specializing in hidden weapons, he will have powerful long-range killing. After 3 days of precipitation, he has washed away the sin value and returned to the city to summon teammates. Tank, Monkey, and Fatty have already completed the leave of absence procedures at school and devoted themselves to the game. The fire tube and the big breast are still there. During these 3 days, Yechen used them to resell some level 15 purple equipment. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content. Of course, it was also obtained by upgrading the level 10 purple equipment. At this moment, the two met Yechen and returned the proceeds to Yechen, which was more than 300 gold coins. Converted to RMB, it is 30,000. If it was still before, Yechen would naturally smile from ear to ear, but now, his vision is higher and his ambition is greater, and 30,000 yuan is really nothing. With the money, Ye Chen immediately opened the auction house and instantly spent more than 200 gold coins to buy the 3 skill books he had coveted for a long time. Hidden Weapon Specialization, LV1 Passive. When projecting hidden weapons, the damage is added by 10%. Spinning Thorn, Skill Book Instant. Rotate yourself, send out high-intensity stabs, physical damage 260%, cooldown time, 15 seconds. Note, restricted to the thief profession, required level, 15. Shadow Strike, Rare Skill Book Instant. Attack any target, after causing damage, teleport to any location within a radius of 5 yards. Physical damage 190%, cooldown time, 20 seconds. Note, restricted to the thief profession, required level, 15. The skills that the thief can learn, of course, the assassin can also learn, but the spinning stab and shadow attack are both level 15 skills, which he cannot learn for the time being. After level 15, the price of these 2 skill books will definitely be hyped up, so he bought them first. Ye Chen, I haven't seen you for many days. Why do I feel that you have become much more handsome? After Ye Chen finished his work, Tank couldn't help but joked. However, although his words were a joke, they made sense. Now Ye Chen has become more stable, with a lazy and casual temperament, but he faintly reveals a strong self-confidence, which makes people palpitate. Haven't I always been handsome? Ye Chen asked back. Okay, stop talking nonsense. We are only level 10, much behind you. Go and lead us to kill the boss. No hurry, we still have 2 teammates. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 114. Everyone asked, there are 2 more people, who are they? Ye Chen smiled without answering, and ran to the store to buy a large number of darts to level up the advanced hidden weapon refining blueprints. Special skills like this and blacksmithing are all life skills. The system also provides great convenience, that is, such skills have no cooling time, and some can even mass-produce items. In other words, as long as you have money and are willing to spend money, you can practice life skills in a short period of time. Ye Chen was willing to spend money. The more advanced darts he refined, the stronger his long-range damage would be and the stronger his combat effectiveness would be. The stronger you are, the greater the rewards in the game, this is the truth. In comparison, the initial investment in skill training is really not worth mentioning. After throwing down dozens of gold coins, including money to buy ore, Ye Chen quickly mastered this blueprint skill to LV5. At this time, this skill has opened a new branch, Golden Dart, physical attack power at 30. Moreover, the refining efficiency of iron, silver, and gold darts has reached 100%. He is determined to continue practicing, but he does not have enough money. At this moment, he received Huo Wu and Mao Mao's team application and decisively agreed. My Shiranui. Well, I remember that a top master also had this ID. No way, Ye Chen. None of them were newbies, and they were naturally familiar with the famous Mai Shiranui. She is both a top god and a beautiful woman. With such a high popularity setting, Huo Wu's reputation is no less than that of the strongest kings who stood at the top of the pyramid in her previous life. How could they not be excited when such a being suddenly appeared in their team? Not excited? Yes, that's her. Ye Chen smiled slightly. CIAO, Ye Chen, you are awesome. You have such a great reputation, and you can actually ask such a high-end god to help. It's not about helping. She officially joined our team. Ahem, she is a girl after all. You guys should be more restrained from now on. Ye Chen joked. However, everyone was suddenly stunned. Ye Chen's words were like a bomb that exploded in their hearts, making them confused. Huo Wu actually joined their team? This is incredible. In their minds, Huowu should be the one that the giant guilds fight over. As soon as she opened her mouth, there should be countless guilds, organizations, and forces kneeling on the ground begging her to join. However, she ignored those large guilds and actually joined their elite group, which had a small number of people and could only be regarded as half-assed. Did I hear it wrong, or is she out of her mind? Everyone thought in shock. This is all too dreamy and unreal. It wasn't until Huowu appeared in front of them that they woke up from the illusion, roaring like crazy. Yashin, your friends are so enthusiastic. Huowu covered her mouth and snickered. Her expression was refreshing and her beautiful eyes were bright. It was obvious that she had come out of the trough. Well, they are just a bunch of people who get along with each other very well. Yechen chuckled. Crap. Aren't you holding silk? Everyone was immediately angry, staring at Yechen with burning eyes. Hey, this is a hairy guy, let's just forget about joking, don't expose us in front of the fire dance goddess. Everyone wanted to cry when they thought that Yechen's words might leave a bad impression on the goddess. After all, I'm handsome. Even though I'm so low-key, I still can't hide that dazzling light. I'm like a firefly in the dark, so bright, so outstanding. Inadvertently, I leaked the truth about Wang Ba. I was so angry that all the girls looked at me with admiration, mistakenly thinking that I was their male god. Yechen chuckled. Shameless. I feel the deep malice coming from the pretty boy. Giggle. Everyone immediately retorted, which only made Huo Mao and the two girls laugh non-stop. The atmosphere between Yechen and others was undoubtedly very cheerful and lively. The two girls had just joined, but they integrated very quickly. After laughing for a while, Yechen led his friends out of Baiun City and came to the ancient ruins again. The first thing he did was to catch up with his two old friends, Medusa and Pharaoh, to catch up with each other and enhance their relationship with each other. It had been several days since the last time I fought these two bosses, and Yechen was only level 10 at that time. Now, Yechen has reached level 13. Of course, the attributes that can be improved at these three levels are limited. The main reason is that he changed his profession and became an assassin. After the combo points are full, skill and finishing blow will cause huge damage. At the same time, the powerful god Huowu was added to the team. Both are fire spells, and her damage is completely overwhelming to the monkey and the fire tube. In terms of operation, consciousness, and reaction, she surpasses the two of them by countless ways. It made the two of them blush and feel ashamed. Moreover, Huowu also said that she got 2 skill points in Novice Village but has not yet used them. In other words, she is already extremely powerful, but she is actually just getting started, and she will be even more powerful in the future. Huowu, how much did your alliance contribute last month? Yechen asked with interest. As for the fact that he got the title of Chief of the Assassins Alliance, he told the brothers directly without any concealment. Naturally, they were shocked, but most of them were jealous and teased, saying that he was just lucky. Yechen did not explain much about this. After all, he also wanted to see these guys kneel down, cry bitterly, and hug their thighs after he exerted his strength. Second, the guy in first place completed the S-level task, and I didn't catch up, Huowu said. Yechen nodded, expressing his understanding. Huowu is definitely a top god. There are no more than 10 people in the entire Chinese war zone who can completely crush her. Among them, there are even fewer fire mages, and maybe there are none at all. In other words, her failure has nothing to do with her own strength. It is very likely that she is just unlucky. But now that she has joined the team, Yechen needs to help her win the Chief of this month to strengthen the strength of his team. Have your alliance's S-level tasks been refreshed this month? Yechen asked. No. Well, wait for the refresh, and we will support you together when the time comes. You know, the number of tasks refreshed by each alliance every day is different, especially S-level and higher level tasks. Sometimes they may be refreshed at the beginning of the month, and sometimes they have to wait until the end of the month. Everyone was chatting while killing the boss. In less than half an hour, they defeated Medusa and the pharaoh one after another. The pharaoh's golden coffin was a golden treasure chest. At this moment, everyone killed 2 lords and opened another golden treasure chest. Although it was not the first kill, a purple outfit was also dropped. This profit is quite good. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, Ba Wang Shi-san. Chapter 115. After killing the pharaoh, Ye Chen and his companions came out of the pyramid and continued to walk towards the endless desert ahead. About 10 minutes later, some tall cacti appeared in front of them. Google searched can. Of course, although they are tall, they are actually only 2 or 3 yards long. Compared with the 7 or 8 yards long giant cacti that Ye Chen and his companions saw in the mirage last time, they can only be reduced to suns. At the same time, they are not ordinary cacti, but cactus beasts, a level 15 monster. Don't look at them standing still now, in fact, they are also trying to deceive passers-by. Once people get close to them, they will inevitably be counterattacked by them. Ye Chen, there are also cacti here. Is it very close to the mirage we saw last time? Tank has been following Ye Chen for a few days and has learned a lot. He directly guessed that these cacti are traps, so he didn't get close and asked Ye Chen. It's still far away. After that, the cactus will get bigger and bigger, until it's 7 or 8 yards long, and then it may hit the black tortoise. Ye Chen responded, and wanted to test the power of the dart, so he raised his hand and threw a golden dart, hitting the cactus. -165. Roar. As the damage above the head appeared, the cactus changed its shape, and eyes, ears, mouth, and nose appeared on its fat face in an instant, turning into a humanoid monster, and roared, rushing towards Ye Chen. It was very fast, raised its arms full of sharp needles and pointed at Ye Chen, and suddenly, a string of flying needles flew out. At the same time, Tank took a step forward, pulling a cloud of dust on the sand, and raised his shield to block Ye Chen. Bang bang bang, all the flying needles were caught by the shield, and with Tank's high defense and HP, it was not hurt at all. So, Ye Chen stood behind the tank and shot golden darts one after another, each time dealing more than 100 points of damage. After 5 times, the cactus beast wailed and fell down, quickly turning into a pool of green viscous liquid. What a high damage! Everyone exclaimed. Ye Chen just threw darts, but he actually dealt such damage, it was too scary. Xiao Mao's beautiful eyes were full of brilliance. As a thief, her attitude towards Ye Chen was almost like worshipping an idol. If Huo Wu hadn't pulled her aside several times, she would have thrown herself into Ye Chen's arms and acted like a spoiled child. Brother Ye Chen, your strength is amazing. You can completely rely on your mastery of hidden weapons to find a way to specialize in hidden weapons, Xiao Mao said fascinatedly. Ye Chen smiled, but he didn't care too much. You know, darts, even his golden darts, only have 30 points of physical attack. Compared with weapons of the same level, this is not worth mentioning at all. What's more, when players carry weapons to release skills, there are percentage damage. In this comparison, the damage caused by hidden weapons is like a child's play. But it is not entirely true. Even hidden weapons have corresponding skills. In this way, darts also have percentage damage. Of course, hidden weapons, including assassination mastery, are all rare skills. Because of this road is very difficult to walk. Ye Chen has the ability to refine high-level darts and has the only title of hidden weapon master. He can be said to be the most suitable person to walk this road. In fact, he is indeed ready to play the hidden weapon flow. Otherwise, why would he spend so much effort to complete the hidden task of Qinji Elder? But even so, the hidden weapon flow is ultimately auxiliary. There is only one reason: Xiao He cannot amplify the hidden weapon flow. In addition, there is another point, that is, compared with long-range attacks, Yechen prefers close combat and assassination. Yechen, is there a boss here? Everyone looked at the endless desert and couldn't help asking. Yes. Yechen was very sure, and said, but this place is too big, and the boss will move, we may not find it in a whole day. So, let's not fight this cactus boss. As he said, Yechen led the way, and after leading everyone through several sand pits, they saw a palace. After everyone walked in, they found that there were piles of bones inside. As they approached, the bones automatically combined into skeleton monsters. I will open the way, everyone rush over together. Yechen said, knocking off a bottle of light potion, making the red flame dagger white all over, turning into a light attribute attack. And the light attribute attack has great lethality to the dark attribute skeleton monster. Yechen rushed forward, one by one, and instantly broke a path, and everyone followed closely. In this way, led by Yechen, everyone soon came to the boss room of this palace. Everyone be careful later, the boss here is not an ordinary skeleton, but a thief. Very fast, Yechen did not forget to remind everyone before entering the boss room. Thief skeleton. Everyone was stunned. Yechen had already entered the boss's room, and everyone hurried to follow. This room was similar to a secret room. In the front, there was a throne made of bones, similar to the throne used by the royal family. On the throne, a skeleton sat like Yechen, it was wearing a black cloak, covering its pale skeleton. Only a grim skull face was exposed, which looked strange and majestic. Soul of the Assassin, Jesse, Lord. Level 20. HP. Skills. Note, the third chief student of the Assassin League. According to the story background of Dream World, many years ago, the major alliances were actually professional colleges. So there are some special NPCs, or even special monsters, that will show the chief student of a certain league or a certain class, or the top student in the notes. And the gold content of the chief student is obviously much higher than that of the top student. Pay attention. This guy has self-awareness and is not controlled by the hatred system. This Jesse is a similar existence to Hong Yi. Of course, Jesse is dead, and it has no possibility of upgrading. But even so, it is very difficult to deal with. Tanks open monsters, weapons weakened, Yechen gave an order, and the tank burst out, and Jesse on the throne became invisible in an instant, the stealth of the thief. Bang! There was a light sound in the void, and Jesse appeared in front of the tank. Its dagger gently knocked on the giant shield of the tank, hitting a little damage and triggering the shadow attack skill. Immediately, the figure was illusory and disappeared without a trace. But in the next moment, it appeared behind the tank again, swipe. Click. The sharp dagger cut through the back of tank's neck. As blood gushed out, it turned violently and stabbed into the back of tank's neck. Its speed was too fast. Stealth, shadow attack, and spin stab were used in one go, and it took no more than 2 seconds in total. Before everyone could react, tank died. He didn't even have a chance to react, let alone release the weapon to weaken. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 116. The tank was cut to death within 2 seconds, causing Yechen's pupils to shrink slightly. It was inevitable to take risks when challenging the boss by leapfrogging, but he really didn't expect that the tank would be killed so quickly, without even having time to weaken the weapon. This is very embarrassing. If Jesse attacks again, people may die. And this Jesse is no ordinary boss either, his sneak attack is superb. At this moment, a red ring the size of a manhole cover suddenly lit up under Jesse's feet. Huo Wu reacted immediately and released a flame blast. With a bang, A pillar of fire shot up into the sky, but failed to hit anyone. Jesse's perception was sharp, and he quickly pulled out a black afterimage. While avoiding Fire Dance's attack, he rushed towards everyone with a knife. The pale skull face, under the shadow of the black cloak, looked mysterious and majestic. Huo Wu's attack did not stop, and he released fire magic one after another, and the sea of fire also burned on the ground. After a while, damage began to appear on Jesse's head, and more than 60 points of damage were deducted every second. To a certain extent, Huo Wu is an experienced driver. She is very experienced and knows that dealing with thieves requires constant restraint. As long as the thieves are allowed to continue to attack, the thieves will not be able to become invisible. In this way, the threat of thieves is reduced to the greatest extent. Seeing this, Ye Chen couldn't help but admire that he was a reborn person. He had unparalleled advantages in terms of equipment, skills, and even some special items. But in terms of technology and some minor skills, he is still far inferior to the top masters. Now that Huo Wu is by his side and influenced by him, he will grow and improve a lot. As long as he makes further breakthroughs on the technical level, coupled with his unparalleled advantage, he can surpass Huo Wu in minutes and join the queue of the strongest kings at the top of the pyramid. Even reaching the top is not impossible. Ye Chen didn't have this idea or ambition before, but now he has it, and it's very strong. Ye Chen, get ready. Huo Wu shouted softly. Since joining the team, she followed Tank and others in calling Ye Chen by his real name. Hearing this, Ye Chen activated the buff in seconds, breaking martial arts and poison quenching and wind step. At the same time, Huo Wu switched equipment, put away the staff that increased the fire power, and replaced it with the blood-colored staff that Ye Chen had given her. Suddenly, a ray of red light shot out, causing Jesse to freeze. Run! Sap! Ye Chen flew out like lightning and knocked Jesse out with a sap. Originally, when using sap to deal with enemies that are 5 levels higher than you, the chance of being stunned will be reduced, but when Ye Chen releases it together with Xiaohei, the success rate of stunning is very high. It seems that I have been playing for so long and have never failed even once. Wipe your throat. Ye Chen's eyes narrowed, and he cut the skeleton's neck with a knife, then went around behind him and stabbed him in the back plus finishing blow equals pierce the heart. Whoosh. Minus 6480. A ray of red light shot out, pierced the cloak in front of Jesse, and extended several yards in front of him, causing astonishing damage. The attacks from Huo Wu and others did not miss. The 3 fire magicians used explosive flames to bombard Jesse, instantly beating Jesse to the lowest level of health. At the same time, the monkey held Medusa's love staff and launched a petrifying attack at the critical moment, once again causing Jesse to fall into a petrified state. This time Ye Chen didn't attack again. The thief's burst was very high, but he became weak after finishing a set of skills. This is very obvious, especially in the early stages. Ye Chen's skills were empty, and there was no harm if he continued to hit him. He turned around and ran away, while not forgetting to throw a golden dart and shoot at Jesse. Bang bang bang. Minus 165. Minus 165. Minus 165. Ye Chen threw 3 golden darts in the blink of an eye. While causing damage to Jesse, he triggered the special effect of the Hidden Weapon Master. When throwing the hidden weapon, there is a 10% chance of making himself invisible. You must know that this invisibility is different from ordinary invisibility. It will not appear just because the player is in an attack state. It is always invisible and lasts for 5 seconds. Of course, when you attack, even if you are invisible, your whereabouts will be exposed. 3 seconds later, Jesse thought about it from his petrified state, and red light flashed across his empty eyes, bloody eyes. After all, he was once the chief student of the Assassin's League, and Jesse's strength and talent during his lifetime were beyond imagination. At this moment, It turned its skull and stared at Ye Chen with a serious look, but then gave up and turned to look at Huo Wu and others. It is self-aware and unencumbered by hateful systems. Suddenly, it muttered something, and not long after, a pale skeleton crawled out of the ground and stood in front of it. Brush. Jesse lightly struck the skull monster with a knife. His figure became illusory and disappeared. Shadow attack. The next moment, Jesse pulled out a shadow and suddenly appeared behind Huo Wu. Seeing that its sharp dagger was about to cut the delicate back of Huo Wu's neck. However, before that, a ring of fire popped up from Huo Wu's waist, sending it flying away. For it. Everyone's throats were dry and they stared at Huo Wu in a daze. You must know that although Jesse's shadow attack extended a distance of nearly 20 yards, it was almost a teleportation, which took no more than half a second. And to resist the ring of fire, the chanting time only takes 1 second. How did she knock Jesse away? This is unscientific. This is of course not just a quick reaction, but a more advanced consciousness called prediction. She predicted Jesse's next move and chanted first, and when Jesse attacked, the resistance fire ring just finished chanting and released it to bounce him away. Of course, Huo Wu's prediction has a certain luck component, because she cannot guarantee that Jesse will attack her. Jesse is not controlled by hatred, and everyone present may be its target. But prediction is all about luck. Because no one, even the most professional psychologist, can understand other people's thoughts 100%. There will always be deviations. Generally speaking, if the success rate of prediction can reach more than 50%, it is already very awesome. Jesse was bounced away, and it was basically declared dead with residual blood. Everyone rushed up and took it away in one wave. Boom. Jesse's heavy skeleton body fell to the ground, stirring up a cloud of smoke and dust. At the same time, a human-shaped phantom emerged from its crown. It was a young human thief, wearing a black robe, revealing a pale and handsome face, bloodshot eyes, and a distorted complexion, which made him look even more evil and ferocious. He was Jesse, the dead Jesse, who had turned into a ghost. I will definitely not let her go. A crazy roar, full of hatred and murder. After Jesse roared, his body disintegrated, turned into countless stars, and dissipated between heaven and earth. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 117. The she in Jesse's mouth does not refer to Huo Wu. There is actually a hidden task here, and it is the only hidden task. There is a certain kind of container that can temporarily seal Jesse's soul so that he will not dissipate in an instant. Next, Jesse will tell his story and the tragic cause of his death. He was in his prime, but died prematurely, and he did not die gloriously on the battlefield, but was killed by his compatriots in the light camp. Because of this, his soul is still lingering, and the powerful soul power forcibly occupies the body of the Skeleton King. If the player helps him kill his enemies, it will be considered that this hidden task is completed. After that, Jesse's soul will be completely annihilated. This Skeleton King will also become an ordinary Lord Boss. Sooner or later, Ye Chen will do this hidden task, but not now, at least wait until level 30. By that time, including this mission, including the Sky Devourer in the Cloudy Mountains and the Black-Winged Serpent Demon in the basement of the palace where Medusa is located, both of which are level 30 Gold Lords, he can kill them all at once. Jesse, no, it should be called the soul of the assassin at this moment. It was killed first this time, and there was a gorgeous explosion, among which there was a purple equipment. Shadow Bracelet, purple quality. Level 15. Magic Defense add 125. Strength add 30. Intelligence add 30. Special Effect, Shadow Strike LV add 1. Special Effect 2, Shadow Strike CD -5 seconds. Special Effect 3, Shadow Strike's Shadow Extension Distance add 30%. Tisk tisk, this thing actually exploded. Ye Chen smacked his tongue. This shadow bracelet adds 3 special effects, and all of them are for 1 skill. Among the purple equipment, it is also a superb existence. However, the Shadow Strike skill is not strictly speaking an output skill, and its percentage is not high. As the level increases, the distance of shadow extension, that is, the distance of teleportation, will become larger and larger. The distance of shadow attack at LV1 is 5 yards, and the distance increases by 5 yards for each level. After LV20, a shadow attack can span a distance of 100 yards. It is simply unpredictable. And this shadow bracelet not only increases the level of shadow attack, but also increases the distance of shadow extension by 30%, reducing the CD by 5 seconds also makes it easier to upgrade shadow attack. You know, the height of the Suanwua beast soul is only 50 or 60 yards at most. If Ye Chen increases the shadow attack, he may be able to teleport to the back of the Suanwua. In that case, he can get rid of the thief with his eyes closed. What Suanwua scales are nothing, he can steal whatever he wants at that time. The first kill of the Hell level in Tauren tribe will reward 2 skill points. This shadow bracelet will add 1 point of shadow attack. Well, I have a good chance. Ye Chen suddenly grinned, but the most urgent thing now is to upgrade the level to 15 first. Then, at least practice shadow attack to LV5, and after adding 3 levels, it will be LV8. The teleportation distance reaches 40 yards. Add the 30% increase of the shadow bracelet, which is 52 yards. It's almost enough. Ye Chen, what are you thinking? Laughing, so cheap. Huowu wanted to tease, but she covered her mouth and laughed. Haha, Fatty and others saw that Ye Chen was disliked by the goddess, and they were secretly happy. Ye Chen glanced at them, laughed in his heart, but didn't explain. Humph, when I steal the black tortoise, I will blow your balls. After dealing with Jesse, Ye Chen and others exited the secret room and returned to the front to swipe the skeleton monster. There are quite a lot of skeleton monsters here, and they are level 15 monsters, which have a lot of experience. About half an hour later, Tank ran back. He looked very embarrassed and miserable. He had dropped back to level 9, and a set of level 10 equipment could not be worn. This guy was stingy and didn't want to buy more equipment, so he ran over in big shorts. Brother Tank, you are playing tricks, Xiaomao cried out, blushing and covering her eyes with both hands. Huowu seemed much more mature. After all, she was the oldest in the team, about 24 years old, and she would only treat Ye Chen and others as younger brothers at most. Now seeing Tank like this, she just thought he was playing tricks, and smiled lightly without saying anything. But she didn't care, but Fatty and others cared. Turtle. Tank, you bastard, buy 2 white clothes to cover your body, don't tarnish the eyes of Goddess Huowu and Sister Xiaomao. Everyone stared at Tank with spitting eyes. Hee, I can't see the beauty's body, but now it feels different when the beauty looks at my body. Diozi. This time, even Ye Chen followed suit. Tank was too dirty and too idiotic. We couldn't play happily together at all. Finally, under everyone's coercion, Tank reluctantly bought some junk equipment at the auction house to cover his body. Ye Chen, Tank has dropped back to level 9 now, and his defense is gone. If the next boss is still a level 20 lord, I'm afraid there will be risks, Huowu worriedly said. It's okay. Before Tank's equipment is up, you are better than him, Ye Chen smiled. Getting Ye Chen's affirmation, Huowu smiled slightly. Next, everyone set out again and defeated 2 more level 20 bosses. So far, they have brushed all the fixed bosses within the second stage of the ancient ruins. In the remaining time, Ye Chen took them to find a map with relatively dense monsters to brush monsters and upgrade. 5 days passed in a flash, and every day, they would knock down the boss. Not only the profits were huge, but the experience was also very rich. This chapter is not finished yet, please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content. Yechen and Huowu were the fastest, and they both reached level 15. Everyone else has also reached level 13. As for the tank, it is still only level 12. But it doesn't matter if they are lagging behind. When the time comes to play the dungeon, it will be easy to bring them up. Yechen upgraded his equipment and put it on, and then learned the 2 skill books of Spin Sting and Shadow Strike that he had prepared in advance. Night God, ID. Race, Human. Occupation, Assassin. Title, Great Good Man, Preceptor, Master of Hidden Weapons. Level, 15. HP 450/450. MP 430/430. Strength, 342. Physical strength, 45. Spirit, 43. Intelligence, 83. Agility, 197. Asterisk perception, 2. Asterisk physical attack, 488,502. Physical defense, 183. Magic defense, 120. Fire resistance, 116. Asterisk fire attribute enhancement, 45. Recognition, 38. Common skills, LV4 sap, LV4 stab, LV5 thief, LV3 lockpicking, sneaking, sprinting, LV3 throat wipe, LV3 bleeding, LV1 wind step, LV1 spinning stab. Rare skills, LV2 blood flow, LV2 hidden weapon proficiency, LV2 shadow attack, shadow bracelet add 1. Equipment additional skills, goodwill halo, poisonous mist. Special skills, low level life potion, LV3 poison quenching, LV3 blacksmithing, bloody eyes, LV2 breaking martial art, LV5 advanced dart refining blueprint. Talent, firm wool, passive. Okay, very good. After Yechen upgraded all his equipment, his attributes increased explosively, and Yechen couldn't help but nod with satisfaction. At this time, he could find someone to kill the hellish first kill of Tauren tribe. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 118. In these 5 days, a lot of things happened in the light camp. Among them, there is an explosive news that has been on the top and hot searches of major forums, that is, some land reclamation teams have discovered Suanwu in the desert. The major guilds, led by Myth and Hall of Fame, have begun to recruit players to plan a famous attack on Suanwu. 4 big guilds and giants like them, the contracted elites of their clubs alone, plus the vast number of peripheral members, probably number in the tens of thousands. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. Of course, there are tens of thousands of players, but now facing Suanwu, they are still nothing worth mentioning. Without tens of millions of players attacking at the same time, you can't even think about it. After all, most players now, more than 99%, are unable to break through Suanwu's defense. Even if they hit, it will only forcefully deduct 1 point of HP. As for the Suanwu beast's soul, as a level 15 holy beast, it has high defense and thick HP, and its HP has reached a terrifying 180 million. What kind of shield warrior, what kind of blood cow, compared with Suanwu, even if it is just a beast's soul, they are nothing. In addition, the thieves of the Assassin's Alliance have stolen Suanwu scales in order to complete the S-level mission. Many rogue players have begun to attack Suanwu. But most of the endings are very tragic, being killed and returned to level 0. Even so, there are still people who haven't given up. For other professions, level 0 or 1, it can be said that it is difficult to move forward in the main city, and the best thing to do is to go back to the novice village. But thieves are different. With stealth, they can come and go freely in most territories. Therefore, if they continue to steal the oil, Suanwu's virginity will be lost sooner or later. Yechen was also quite nervous about this. He wouldn't mind if the S-level mission was completed by others. In fact, if he were to steal Suanwu, the S-level mission would only be completed incidentally, but only by stealing the sacred weapon from Suanwu would he be truly satisfied. Of course, he had nothing to do with those oily ones. He could only hope in his heart that they would start slower, so that Suanwu's chastity could be preserved for a while longer. Let go of that Suanwu and let me do it. Finally, it is Yechen's business. The current level of the players' large forces is hovering around level 13, but the players on the front line have reached level 15, and a very few masters have reached level 16. At this time, he upgraded the level 10 purple equipment and sold it on the market with level 15 purple equipment. The sales were very good. On average, a piece of purple equipment nets almost 20 gold coins, excluding the cost, which is 2,000 yuan. In addition to Tank, Monkey, and Fatty, Yechen also recruited Huao, Kitty, Fire Barrel, and Big Breast. In 5 days, he made a full 250,000 yuan, leaving aside the small change. RMB. Damn, he had never seen such a big number before. He once grinned a big silly smile, but he quickly calmed down, because this was just the beginning. If you get excited now, you must not be frightened into a lunatic in the future. Of course, since he has roped in everyone, he has also given everyone a 1% dividend. Some gaming clubs, for example, will sign contracts with elites and pay them a fixed monthly salary. Although Yechen is not as professional as others, everyone has helped, so he has to give some benefits, right? There is endless money to be made, and it is the right way for everyone to make it together and have fun together. Of course, Yechen was more generous, and his dividends were very generous, making Tank and others laugh from ear to ear. They only need to shake their little hands every day to help Yechen put purple clothes on the shelves, and they can earn hundreds of dollars every day. How could they not be happy about such a good thing? And as Yechen said, it's just the beginning now. In the future, if Yechen earns more, their dividends will be more. Yechen, you showed us what it means to be the strongest captain. Several people tasted the sweetness and began to flatter you. Yechen smiled, dispersed the team, and left with only the fire tube and Big Breasts. He has contacted Feudo Rushan and learned that the other party has reached level 15. Although he is the only one, plus Yechen, the two of them can already lead through the hell level copy of Tauran tribe. As for Huowu, Tank, and others, since they are not in the same novice village as Yechen, they have no way to come here to collect skill points. Of course, Tanks aside, Huowu is definitely capable of getting the hell level first kill and gaining skill points. In less than half an hour, Yechen brought the fire tube, Denai, Feudo Rushan, and others met at the center of Bayun City. There is a teleportation array here. For 1 silver coin, players can return to their novice village. Of course, players whose level is higher than level 10 are not allowed to actively PK against novice players in the novice village. However, if a newbie takes the initiative to provoke you, you can kill him back. Don't move, now we have everything ready, all we need is Dongfeng. Have you found the person I want? Yechen asked with a smile. The person he wants is a priest who has learned the art of resurrection. Resurrection is a rare skill for priests. Because of its particularity, although it is only a rare skill, its value is even more precious than most special skills. The auction house has no stock at all. Of course, even if it was available, it would still be at a sky-high price. Yechen had just earned 250,000, so to be honest, he might not be able to afford it. Therefore, it is unrealistic to obtain a resurrection skill book in a short period of time. So, Yechen asked Budong and others to post a post online to find and rent a priest who can perform resurrection. The price is still very expensive, but it is still acceptable. I found it, but that guy has a bad temper and acts like he is worth 2.58 million. He actually asked for 10,000 for 1 hour. Badong sighed and said unhappily, I discussed with him and said that I would give him half the price if I could help him get a skill point. He refused to agree. After saying that, he saw Yechen smiled, he was slightly stunned, and he also laughed, haha, Yechen, I heard that you have become a big shot recently. How about you reimburse this 10,000? Well, I will reimburse, no big deal. Yechen smiled generously, reorganized the team, and pulled Badong and others into the team. Then he waved his hand, and everyone flashed white light collectively, and returned to the novice village in a mighty manner. The gods are coming. Did you see the thief and shield warrior in front, Tisk? Although they hid the light of their equipment, I can still tell with my Terra Stone dog eyes that they are at least blue grade equipment, awesome. Blue grade, they are already level 15, and they are blue grade, at least purple equipment, big brother, please don't tease me, I have a low sense of laughter. Yechen and others were like gods descending to the earth, with a flash of white light, and appeared in the center of the novice village, next to the old village chief, attracting many novice players to point and comment, and they were amazed. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, Ba Wang Shi-san. Chapter 119. Why are so many masters coming to the novice village? To kill boss? Not really, I heard there are many boss in the main city. Of course not to kill boss, they brought the elite group here, they must want to get the first kill of the hell level. That's right. I heard from my cousin's friend that the first kill of the dungeon in our novice village was originally to be monopolized by the 3 groups of the Hall of Fame, but who knew that the captain was not strong enough and was taken by another newly rising elite group. Of course, that captain seemed to be called Zhan Hao, and he has now been dismissed by the Hall of Fame. Well, this matter was a sensation in our novice village at the time, and I heard about it. The leader and deputy leader of the newly rising elite group seemed to be called Yechen and Moving Like a Mountain, a thief, and a shield warrior respectively. Look at this elite group again, will it? Damn, is it true? Many novice players surrounded Yechen and others like curious babies, pointing and talking, and exclamations were heard from time to time. Ahem. The men who were as immovable as a mountain coughed quickly, straightened their bodies, and pretended to be high-end players, making the novices look up to them. They suddenly felt a little proud. Yechen laughed dryly, led the team to separate the crowd, and headed towards the Turan tribe. Seeing the master move, the novices followed closely like bodyguards. For them, their levels were already behind the mainstream group, so they just gave up and were not in a hurry to upgrade. Now watching the master pretending to be cool was also a fun thing to do. Not long after, Yechen led the team to the door of the dungeon. Immovable as a mountain began to contact the priest, while Yechen wanted to contact Xiaoro. Now, there are some misunderstandings between him and Xiaoro, and their relationship is very subtle. It has been such a long time, and neither party has contacted each other. But no matter what, he felt a little guilty about Xiaoro. Now that the first kill of the hell level is about to be opened, skill points are something that cannot be bought with money. For players, it is also a very good help. Yechen wanted to let Xiaoro take this ride. Opening the friend list, Yechen was about to send a message to Xiaoro, but something happened. I saw a series of white lights flashing, and a 30-person team withdrew from the dungeon. This group should be a wild group that was just formed not long ago. The various professions are very scattered and not targeted. At this moment, they should be wiped out, and they actually sprayed each other, exposing the quality of the wild group. What a rubbish team. With the assistance of a great priest like me, you can't even pass a difficult level. Waste my 20% experience, Damn, a priest player spoke first. I saw that he was wearing a Japanese and Korean style shirt and student uniform, which looked extremely showy. This was obviously not an equipment, but an expensive fashion. In addition, his face looked decent, and his level was over level 10, entering the mainstream group. But he was nosy when he talked. As a mainstream player, he couldn't lead the difficult level dungeon in the novice village, but instead started to blame the newcomers. That's right, he was the priest who could perform resurrection and was invited by Budong Rushan at a huge cost. His ID was quite extravagant, called Nurse's Justice. Oh my! The average level of our group is only level 8. Before we started, we said that we could only play the normal level. You said you were a great god, could perform resurrection, and took the position of the leader and forced us in. Now we can't beat them, but you blame us? It's really drunk. SB. With your appearance, you are still a great priest. You only have good equipment and a large amount of healing, but your reaction is so slow. Such a magical skill as resurrection actually fell into your hands, it's really hummed. That's right. His skills are really rubbish, not even comparable to Shaorou's sister. A group of novices were a little confused by the scolding, and there were also some new players with potential and knowledge among them. They would not tolerate people's bad habits, and immediately started to quarrel with him. The large group of novice players who came with Yechen and others also resonated with each other. They spoke together and immediately scolded Genji, who was red in the face and felt embarrassed. When Yechen heard the name Xiaorou, he also looked into the crowd, but saw Xiaorou looking at him with a smile. As if a nerve was touched, Yechen unconsciously raised the corner of his mouth and showed a smile. But at this moment, Genji found Budong Grushan and his expression suddenly became happy. Hey, the big shield warrior in front, you invited me here, right? Genji looked cold and ordered Budong, let's do this, I don't want your money, you kill all these novices, I will take you to the hell level for free. You take us. Yechen was a little confused. A priest who couldn't even lead the difficult level actually said that he wanted to lead the hell level. More importantly, when advanced players come to the novice village, they cannot take the initiative to PK novices. I originally thought he had a bad temper, but I didn't expect he had some brain problems. Budong immediately held his forehead and said to Yechen with embarrassment. I'm sorry, newbies, this is my dog. I didn't tie it up properly and it jumped out, I might have scared you. I'm really sorry. Yechen and Budong Grushan took the lead, and the brothers also laughed and teased, beating the fallen dog. And their attitude also made the surrounding novice players feel relieved and had some good feelings towards them. At the same time, the novices saw that Yechen and others were not on the side of justice, so they had no worries in their hearts. They kept shooting at justice with ridicule like machine guns. Some of them were even more irritable and began to organize people to kill justice here. Of course, they haven't made a move yet. After all, they also heard that justice was invited by these gods to play the dungeon, and he would be popular if he had the resurrection technique. At this moment, they looked at Yechen and the two of them with a slightly inquiring look, waiting for them to express their opinions. Yechen finally spoke, shook his head in disappointment, and said to Justice, okay, you can go. I feel that with your IQ, even if you have the resurrection technique, I'm afraid you can't help us. This is true. The difficulty of the hell level dungeon is certain. Yechen has a strategy for this dungeon and knows that the resurrection technique is a necessary condition. But this does not mean that with the resurrection technique, you will definitely be able to pass the level. At that time, Yechen will drink the spring water flowing with the goblin transformation potion and turn into a goblin. In order to gain the trust of the goblins, he needs to tie up the priest with a rope and bring him to the goblin Dr. Xiaobo. If it were an ordinary priest, it would be fine, but with this funny guy, Justice, who knows what kind of trouble he might cause. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, Ba Wang Shi-san. Chapter 120. Yuchen discussed the matter as it happened, but Genji was unhappy. I saw him staring at Yechen in disbelief, and said angrily, "Hey, I'm already here, and now you want me to leave? What did you tell me before? 10,000 an hour, don't count. Are you so shameless? You think I'm easy to bully because of the crowd? Hey, you're right, I really bullied you today, what happened?" Yechen smiled disdainfully, waved his hand like a fly, and said, "Get out of here quickly, otherwise I'm afraid I won't be able to control the ancient power in my body and kill you. You dare? To tell you the truth, I have played with several captains in the Mythical Hall of Fame, and we are friends with each other. You said you want to kill me today? Haha, I'm afraid you wouldn't even dare if I lend you the courage. Do it." Zheng Zheng laughed wildly, his face full of arrogance. He has this confidence because what he said is true. With his resurrection technique, he is very popular. Although his strength is a bit behind now, the captains are also optimistic about his potential. Hearing this, Yuchen was stunned. For ordinary players, what Genji said is very intimidating, but for him, captain. The captain is a bitch. How many captains do you know? Is this worth showing off? Humph, are you afraid now? Kneel down and apologize to me. Maybe I can forgive you. Seeing Yuchen stunned, and many novice players even more dumbfounded, with fear on their faces, Genji immediately sneered and raised his head. Then, he stared at Yechen with a smile on his face, a high-end expression that said, "I give you one last chance, you must cherish it." Hee, this guy is indeed a joke sent by the monkey. Yechen held back his laughter, let out a long breath, and then with a sharp look in his eyes, he immediately shot a golden dart, carrying the sound of howling wind, and flew towards Justice. How dare you do it? Genji was furious and roared violently, but before he could finish his words, he was shot dead by Yechen with a golden dart. He never thought that Yechen's power was so terrifying that he could be killed instantly with just one dart. The majority of novice players also looked at Yechen blankly, obviously shocked by his methods. But there are still some well-meaning newcomers who began to worry about Yechen's situation and hesitated. Great God, Justice has friendship with those powerful captains. If you offend him now, I'm afraid you will be targeted by him in the future. It's okay, it's just Captain. Yechen was a little embarrassed to be worried by a group of novices, and chuckled, looking completely unconcerned. For it. Most newbies were startled when they saw Yuchen's calm look, and then their eyes shone as brightly as stars, and their faces were full of admiration. Damn, this guy is really a great guy. The captain on the opposite side actually dismissed it, awesome. At this moment, these novices secretly remembered the appearance of the real master in front of them, because, Yuchen hid his ID, and these novices could not even see his ID because they were not discerning enough. Not coming out. The crowd, that is, a group of immobile subordinates, also stared at Yechen blankly, and suddenly felt that his back became taller. Oh, invisible pretense is the most deadly. Master, yeah, I want to give you full marks for how awesome you are at pretending. After the farce, Xiaoro quit the wild group and joined Yechen's team under the reluctant eyes of many temporary teammates. Yechen, do you need the resurrection technique? Xiaoro asked Yechen in a low voice with a hint of cunning and excitement in his bright eyes. Kindness. I do. Xiaoro covered her mouth and smiled. Really or not? Yuchen was shocked, with a mixture of surprise and joy on his face. The good news is that if Xiaoro really has the resurrection skill, then she will definitely develop very well in the game. And subconsciously, he hopes that Xiaoro can live a good life. In that case, he will feel at ease and even his soul will be saved. What is surprising is that Xiaoro is just a novice player. Seriously speaking, she should be very far away from the god level of resurrection. It's true, even though it's just a fake. Fake. Not only Yuchen, but Fudo and others were also surprised. Seeing this, Xiaoro didn't show off and posted a skill introduction in the team channel. Imitation, special skill instantaneous, specify any skill of any player, when the opponent releases it, and imitate and copy it. The skill effect is the same as the currently imitated skill effect and will not change before the next imitation cooling time, imitation skill CD *2. Hey, when Genji released the resurrection technique just now, I already copied it. Xiaoro saw everyone's stupid expressions and smiled from ear to ear. Then, she rolled her eyes at Yuchen with a hint of resentment, and said ambiguously, Yuchen, when I got this skill, I wanted to give it to you, but who knew you were such a stinky person? You have refused to contact me for so long. The heart of heaven and earth. I was wronged, sister. How many times did I call you, but you didn't answer it, okay? Yuchen smiled bitterly, then smiled relaxedly. He was very touched that Xiaoro thought of him so much, but he is already very strong now and will be even stronger in the future. One more person is not enough to imitate, and one person less is not a big deal. On the contrary, if Xiaoro learns to imitate and has copied the resurrection technique, it will be more practical. Ahem, you two show off your affection even if they don't agree with each other. Where do you put us singles? Shita coughed dryly and teased the two with a smile. Xiaoro, a girl, behaved so blatantly, and Yuchen also had an ambiguous attitude towards it. Most people would think that the relationship between the two was not simple. Although Shitu and others had never enjoyed the nourishment of love, they could feel the sour smell to some extent. Although they teased, they looked at Yuchen with envy and blessings. After all, Xiaoro was so beautiful and gentle, she was simply the best candidate for a girlfriend. Xiaoro smiled at the corners of her lips, and a cunning look flashed in her beautiful eyes. This was the effect she wanted. Now she had given up, and she would chase Yuchen no matter what. Women would have some scheming, especially those little women who were caught in emotional entanglements. Xiaoro didn't realize it before, but now she used it all on Yuchen. Yuchen was teased by everyone and smiled bitterly. At this point, he couldn't say that there was no relationship between him and Xiaoro. It was too complicated to cut off, so he simply stopped thinking about it, ignored it, and didn't want to explain it. Since Xiaoro has the resurrection technique, let's go into the game. As usual, all actions must be under command. Yuchen restrained his distracting thoughts and said loudly.